Hello everybody, welcome to KRSM 98.9 Youth Frequency. I'm Eros, and today you'll be hearing us interview owner Sara Pette from Outta Wax, which is a local South Minneapolis vinyl record-making company. In this interview, you'll hear me, Eros, Thor, Christetta, Alex, Jada, and Addy will be taking photos, so make sure to check out our Instagram, KRSM Radio, or the YouTube to see those awesome photos they took. Please hang around if you're interested. Nice to meet you.
Christetta, nice interns. Are we rolling? Yeah, we're rolling. Awesome.
I'm always rolling. Hi.
Come on in. I'll go around and introduce ourselves real quick.
Yeah.
So Sarah knows who we are. So I'm Christetta. We've been emailing.
Yes.
And I'm Thor.
I'm Addy, the photographer.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Eros. Nice to meet you.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jada. Nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having us. So, what's your name and what's your role here?
Yeah, my name is Sara Pette. That's P-E-T-T-E. I am one of the owners of Outta Wax. And currently, I'm the only one doing the record pressing. And I'm doing all the orders emails. And then random stuff to like run the business too. So.
All right. What's your favorite part of working in this industry?
There's two things. So one is that people really love getting their music pressed to vinyl. People are so happy once it's done and in their hands and they're able to get it out into the world. So that's really rewarding. But I also really like playing with color, because people get all kinds of color vinyl, that kind of thing. So I'll show you some examples of that too.
So far, if I had to describe it, I would say a big warehouse. It's a little empty. I thought it would be more full, but also I understand it's two people running this, and this is already very impressive as is.
Okay, so sorry about that.
Where's Alex?
So Alex, unfortunately, is it's sad. So you probably heard about the shooting at a punk show a few years ago. And there's a sentencing hearing today, so she's there today. Yeah.
On jury duty?
Not jury duty. So the person who, yeah, it's it's pretty sad. I'm sorry.
No, that's
happy
totally
to
fine.
Talk about it, but yeah.
No,
so.
feel free if it's personal.
Yeah,
don't
no,
worry
it's
about
fine.
it.
Yeah. So
It was the Nudiland show.
it was Nudiland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of our friends passed away.
Oh,
due
that's so sad.
to
I'm so
gun
sorry.
violence. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, that story is actually a part of our story too. It's a big win for us to get up and running after something like that. So
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
a hard thing to overcome, or not really overcome, but
Yeah.
work through, I guess.
yeah, we're all healing as we can, and we have each other. So
Yeah, it's not this type of thing you forget, but just have to
yeah.
build on top of.
Yeah, exactly. We support each other, and we felt a lot of support from the larger community. So
Yay,
Yeah.
that's wholesome.
yeah. So unfortunately, Alex isn't here today. She sort of decided she was going to go to the hearing. So I apologize, she's not here.
That's
Thank you.
very.
Thank you for making time for us.
Of course, yeah.
So show us around.
All
Give us
right, sounds good. Yeah, and feel free to ask any questions as I'm talking and walking. So our investor owns this building. We didn't plan on buying the building, but it's actually really good because we had to do a lot of costly upgrades to the building to get us up and running, essentially. So, and I could talk, sort of boring, but I can talk about that as you would like.
Because what was this before?
So this used to be a mascot factory a long time ago. Do you remember?
I don't know those. I didn't know those existed.
Oh yeah, so if you think about it, there's actually factories for everything. So in here they used to make big mascot heads and then the mascot bodies too. So, but that was like 10 years ago. Then it was like sort of no one was here for a while, and then we took it over. So, yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh shoot.
I know, it's beautiful. We lost some.
Whoa.
I'll take it.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'll take it.
There's a big pile of like yellow filament. PVC compound. It looks glittery and it's very pretty. They kind of look like crystals.
I want to eat it.
That seems like a bad idea.
The,
Like they got red ones in there. Or pink, I guess.
Those are so cute. What is that? What are those called?
So those are called PVC pellets. So the records are made from PVC, which is plastic. Unfortunately, we lost some on the ground there. A bag split open. But those are the pellets we use to make records. So, and I can show you a little bit more when we have a second.
That's really cool. I haven't seen any like actual like whatever they call it, PVC like stuff to actually make the records.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And like I was saying, the colors get really cool. So
Looks like we got orange on the ground.
we've got translucent orange that we.
Oh, translucent
Yeah,
ones.
yes, it's translucent. So we can also do what's called opaque. So there's either clear or the, solid color that you can't see through. So, yeah. So here is some of the material that we use to make records. You can dip your hand into if you want.
Whoa. Oh, I do. I
If
want
you
to
want.
so
So
bad.
that would make like a clear.
I want to so bad.
That would make sort of a clear plus like black.
That's a good
little bit of black
idea.
in there, so.
Oh, it's sticking to my hand.
Ask for me, I'm scared.
Can we put our mics in there?
Sure, if you want.
Let's do this. I want to hear it. This is ASMR. Live ASMR.
So this is like translucent red, and we were putting some black in there to make it swirly, and I can show you that.
Translucent
This was a bunch of random colors. Like you could see the pink, there's purple, there's dark green, there's white. So sometimes people order random color, and then they can get whatever our extras are. So sometimes it's fun like this, and sometimes it's like
some random colors.
So sometimes it ends up being a funny color. I can show you one that we have some laying around that are like have those colors, and I think it came out well. I was a little like worried about what it would look like with the album art, but no, it came out really good. So yeah. So come on in. This is the factory floor. Let me turn the lights on.
Like, we got some background noise going up in here, so we might have to speak up a little bit more.
Okay, so apologies for the mess.
What are these on the bottom?
So what you're looking at is PVC that comes out of what's called the extruder, and sometimes there isn't enough to come out in the way you want it. So sometimes we make little squigglies, like little snakes, that kind of thing.
The brown ones look like poop.
They do. That was partly intentional. After we're done, everyone's free to take one.
Ooh, coolio.
Can I touch one?
Yeah. What's that?
Like me?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Wait, can I touch it?
Yeah.
They kind of look like clear glass, some of them, and some of them are just like solid matte. Something, I don't know. Looks like clay, almost.
Yeah.
I kind of want that black one right there. It kind of looks like a little snake. That one.
Yeah. I like putting the eyes on them.
The snake kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Anything to say so far?
I think this is fascinating. I mean, it's cool that this is just right in our neighborhood. And, bringing jobs and bringing art to Phillips, that's pretty great.
I like all the little guys down there.
I know. They're like, I think a lot of them got turned into snakes.
They're so cute. I like them. They're very cute.
Yeah, so let me show you how I made those actually. So the pellets go in, I don't think I can show everyone, but if you look towards here, the pellets go into this hopper right here, and then this machine heats it up and poops it out, basically, and it makes like a hockey puck shaped cake, sort of like what you see there. So this is what it looks like when it just comes out.
Whoa, that's cool.
So it's very hot. Don't touch it. I'm a freak. I have like crazy calluses from this. So, and are you taking video too? I can do it again if you're taking video.
Oh, no, I'm just taking
Photos? Okay. So, when this comes out, this cup right here is a form, and the form makes it into a hockey puck. So let's see what it looks like when it creates the puck that we're desiring to make our record.
I can't wait to see this little puck.
What's that?
I said I can't wait to see this little puck.
Yeah, it's cool. It'll look really nice. Not quite like those. Those have sort of expanded a little bit. So, and we can take turns having people come on out. So here is the hockey puck, which is it's what you use to press the records. Can you see it? You ever see it? I would let you hold it, but it's very hot. So.
ASMR of the heat puck.
Definitely ASMR. A lot of this stuff is ASMR.
You can actually hear it in there. It's really cool.
Takes a little while. It takes 10 more seconds. And there's that puck again. So, next, I'm not going to do it right now. I'll show you when I have a little more space. But this puck goes onto that machine, and then it gets smushed. And I'll explain a little more about that when I do it. So yeah, if I could have you guys, oh yeah, we do, yeah. So we are able to grind it all up and recycle it. And we can put it right back into the system and use it again to make new records, so yeah.
Coolio.
And what happens when the puck is made is that I put it onto this bottom label here, and then I'll hit the buttons for it to start pressing, and then you'll see what happens. It's got good sounds, so.
What do you do with the records that get melted like the one you just showed us?
Say again? Sorry.
What do you do with the records that get melted like the one you just showed us?
Yeah, so what we can do is grind it up. So we punch out the center hole, and then we have a grinder that grinds plastic, and then we'll just, use that reground material, and we can put it right back in. And here's a record. And then you can see that sort of like a waffle, it has that edge there. So we put it on what's called the trimmer, and it trims off the edge. And then we can also grind this up and reuse it.
So right now we got this little hockey puck they call going into the press. You can hear it's squishing right now.
I'm like,
You can hear it squishing. Now there's some kind of like pressure or heat, something like melting it and like compressing it and squishing it.
right now I'm doing what's called a test press. So when you are a band or artist and you want to make a record, what we do first is test out what's called the stampers, which are the things that have the grooves right there. And we want to test them out just to make sure it sounds like what the artist wants it to sound like. So we press 10 tests, and then 5 of them stay with us and 5 of them go to the artist. And then the artist listens to every copy to make sure that it sounds like what they want it to sound.
Do you have to change out the grooves every time?
What's that?
Do you have to change out the grooves every time?
So every time we make a new record, we have to change out the grooves. So I'll show you what the grooves come on in 1 second.
Okay.
And then do a quick quality check first round. Looks good. And then as we're doing the test, we also listen to the whole record. So after you leave, I think I will be sitting down and listening to this record. It's really fun, but you know, all kinds of people make all kinds of music. So there are times where you're like, I wish I didn't have to listen to this one, but it's still, you know, it's still, like I said, someone's baby, so we want to make sure it's good, right?
So far, we got them cutting like the extra the excess stuff off the record they just pressed. Where they're doing another press right now. Really cool press. She just put the.
So after this one, I'll pause and I can show you what the stampers look like. It's really cool. So.
She's gonna show us the stampers look like after this new one is done pressing. So far, it's done. It's going down, opening up. Clicky, clicky. Now she's taking off the excess and then putting it onto the thingy so I can cut off the rest of the excess. Really cool, Leo.
Is it hot when you first take it out?
Say again?
Is it hot when you first take it out?
Yes, so you can touch this one. I'll just make another one, but you can sort of feel that it's sort of warm still right here. I don't know
Whoa.
if you feel it. Yeah, it is truly hot off the press. So then, and this is probably the like most inexpensive turntable you can get, which is actually what most people have. So we want to make sure it sounds good on what most people have. So then we drop the needle and see what it sounds like. Through the listening of the record over and over again. So.
Just a question for me, I guess. Yeah. Like, do you have an idea on how like bands or artists are finding the pressing plant from outside of Minnesota?
Yes. So sometimes, so because we're majority women owned, the news has gotten around. There is an element of, you know, the like word of mouth is the best advertising basically. So some people Google us and find us, but yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, I told my friend in Seattle about you and now they're ordering, that kind of thing.
It's like I see swirlies. I love swirlies.
Oh, you love swirlies?
But it's like that's like all the way like Upper East Coast.
Right.
So it's like,
yeah, they're Connecticut.
Why is that a Minneapolis?
Yeah. Like we're not doing, unfortunately, we're not yet doing Beyonce or Taylor Swift, but maybe one day. Not yet. We'd have to get a lot bigger to be able to do that. But. So this is that tan record we were doing. I think it came out pretty good. So what I did here, I was feeling not very confident about this one because when you do what's called a splatter record, you want it to be more, you want it to cover more area and you want it to be brighter. So I was a little bummed at how this one turned out, but I think the artist liked it. So yeah, it's just a matter, this is the artistic part, like one of the most fun parts where you get to play with color and sort of see what works and what doesn't. And then here's some that came out much better than like the...
Those are so cool.
And these are, so the reason they're just laying around is because these are like the ones that didn't, there's something wrong with them. But yeah, so I like how this turned out. They wanted turquoise, and I'm like, this is a little bluer than turquoise, but that's what they ordered, so, you know, it's blue. I think it's blue. Of course. Thank you for coming. I love KRSM. You're the top of my dial. I'm so glad y'all got in touch. Seriously, I'm such a fan of KRSM.
It makes sense. We're neighbors.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is a little more boring. Here's some more of those. You know, they're called extrusions. So this is.
Describe what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
So that because it's radio audio.
I'm seeing they kind of look like a long dookie, but like different colors. We got like a neon, like a translucent green, a translucent purple, some blacks. Like there's a color going from black to white, like a gradient. There's like a tannish see-through color, like transparent, and more brown. They look like squigglies. They're like they're kind of skinny. Some of them have like different shapes. Not smooth. Some of them are smooth. Some of them are like clumpy. You know. We got like different colors down here too. We got like green, purplish, like purple, pink. Like they're dark colors, not like bright.
Do different filaments have different textures?
That's a great question. In short, yes. So if you were to touch the white one, the black to white one, it's a little grainier than like the one next to it, the green one. That's a little smoother. So that's a see-through color, and then the white is a opaque color.
Right.
So sometimes the opaque colors feel different. So
Okay.
yeah, it's the
Interesting.
same basic compound, but yeah, the pigment makes it so.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a question. So when we were looking at you pressing the record, you know, there's the stamp. How do you get the stamps for every individual record? Do those come from the producer? Do you guys make them? Like, where does that come from?
That's a great question. So it's sort of magic. So I'll try to describe it as best I can. So the first part is that the recording engineer will send us the audio or the artist the audio. And then the next step is getting what's called a lacquer cut. And it's a lacquer, like a flat disc that looks like a record, but the material is softer and you can cut into it. So what happens is someone has what's called a lathe, and the lathe takes the sound waves, like takes the vibrations from the sound, and then literally cuts the grooves into the record. And the grooves are sound waves. So that's what's playing when the needle hits the record. And then that gets copied. So that we're basically making a mold of that first thing. And then that gets electroplated, which is a process that I don't fully understand, but you basically take some metal, put it in a bath that gets electrically charged, and then basically electrons grow onto the stampers. So it's pretty crazy. Oh, let me grab you some stampers. I'll be right back.
So far in the warehouse, it's kind of empty, kind of full. Not really, like a little mix of both. We got a lot of boxes. We got a whole bunch of shelvings, what do they call it? Like materials, like industry materials.
You saw before when I was pressing, there's grooves on the machine. This is what they come on. So as you can see, there's grooves on there, and these are the reverse of what you want the record to be. So
It's just a silver plating with it looks like a record, but
you can play it. It'll ruin your record needle, and it'll play backwards because it's the inverse.
it's a metal record
that
with
is so
grooves, but it's
even
reverse.
though we can play this, these are still able to make records. So we've already used these, but because we were careful with them, we can do another pressing of the same record. So
You think you could make a color that's like metallic like that, or is that not possible for
for a record, there is a way that I think could work, but I'm not good enough at it yet. But yeah, if you look up, maybe not this metallic, but something a little more like, like a metallic ink pad. Like I feel like that's sort of what it would look like. So, yeah.
Have you ever done like or like thought of doing like one of those albums that have like one of those vinyl albums that have like water in it?
We have thought about it. Yeah. That's also a little beyond my skills, but if we have time to test it, we can.
Those are so cool.
They are cool. Yeah, they are made as sort of a different way than what you just saw. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, you can sort of put like there is it's called Wax Mage. There's it's out of a pressing plant in Cleveland, Ohio. And they make all, if you go on their Instagram, they make all kinds of stuff. Like they put like fishnets in their records and press them. Yeah, they're really good at it. So I'm not on that level yet. So
Do you guys do shape design?
We could do it, but we would need a mold that's the shape of what we're trying to make. And those are very expensive. So it's probably like $5,000 for a pair of molds. So if we wanted a heart-shaped record, we'd have to buy a heart-shaped mold and then get heart-shaped stampers, etc. So it's just like a lot more expensive. So
How would that even play?
it would probably, the grooves would be right in the middle, and then the heart would be bigger on the outside, if that makes sense. So yeah, they would still be round.
Would it play like a 45?
It could. It probably would be 45 because it's a small area. So yeah, exactly.
I have an Elvis one, a Christmas tree, and it's his Christmas album.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got it off eBay.
Whoa, that's so
That's a
cool.
collectible
Yeah,
for sure.
yes, definitely collectible. I do love that records are so collectible.
Yes,
but
I love collecting vinyls. I
Me
have
too.
a lot of them.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, I found a lot of them. I found like 48 in a box by the trash can where I used to live. And there was like a box and I found it. So I took it back to my house. And then my mom found another box full of them when she went. So then we took them back and I have them all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you find anything in there that you really like?
Yeah.
Oh,
There was,
that's
like,
great.
A Wham one.
Yeah.
And there was like 3 Kiss ones.
Yeah.
And it was like the green guy, the red guy,
Green guy, red guy.
and the other guy.
Trying to
I'm
think.
like missing one of them. So, and then there was one, I forgot her name, but she's the one who wrote that song. Was like,
Cindy Lauper.
Yeah.
That was one of hers.
Oh, her. If it's the one I'm thinking of, that's a great album.
And then there was like 2 Prince
Good
ones.
album.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
I can't believe people are throwing these away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't know what to do with them, so they put them in the trash.
Yeah,
But
for me to collect.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How do you set your pricing for vinyl records?
That's a great question. So we typically, most businesses, when they want to make money, they mark up the service and the materials that they use. So we do, we calculate how much things are based on what the materials cost, and then we mark it up a little bit. So we mark it up like 20%.
God, has anyone ever been injured while making records here? And what kind of safety precautions do you use to prevent any injuries?
That's a really great question. So when you saw me pressing before, did you notice that I had to use both hands to press? So the machines actually have a lot of safety precautions on them like that. So there's guards and that kind of thing. No one has been hurt. It's mostly me doing the pressing, but no one's been hurt while we've been pressing here. Luckily, we have lots of safety precautions at the presses, but we also, in the equipment room, we have like eye wash stations and we, keep the chemicals sort of like off the ground so they wouldn't, like set on fire, that kind of thing. So.
What's your favorite record that you've pressed, either the color or the artist?
Oh, that's a really good question. So the one, I'm just gonna shout myself out. The first record we pressed, which is the one I'm holding, is probably my favorite because it's an old friends band of the record that never came out. The band is called Cortez the Killer. They were probably active in like 2008. And yeah, the record never came out. So I was like, this is the first record we're gonna press. As for favorite color, I think you saw the spilled orange. So it was orange, and then the splatter part was pink and black, and it looked really. I can send.
That's
that
really
to
cool.
you. Yeah. So, 2 different answers.
How many employees do you have, I guess?
We currently don't have any. We do have we have a building manager, but he sort of works for the building, if that makes sense. So no employees right now.
So it's just you two, you
Yeah.
and Alex?
Yes, and then my brother John doesn't live here, but he does all the billing, invoicing, like accounting, all the fun, boring stuff that you can do on a computer. So
Amazing. What's it like being part of the local music community for you?
I love it. I also play music and DJ sometimes, and I was part of the community in that way. But luckily, my connections through what's called like the DIY music community has brought us a lot of business too. So being a part of the industry in this other way has been really rewarding. It's a little hectic because it's still customer service. So we're making something for someone. So it's a little, it's hasn't changed my view, but it's just another angle of how to interact with the community.
How many records do you make per day?
It depends on the day, but on a good day, we make probably 450.
450.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
And you do all the pressing by hand?
By hand. So exactly what you saw. That's how we stand there for hours and do that.
Describe the pressing process to people who can't see it.
Okay. So I explained a little bit about the steps that it takes to get to the point where you're pressing. So once you have the stampers in hand, you affix those stampers to the machine, to the molds, and then you use extruded PVC, and it turns it. The machine called the extruder takes that material, turns it into a hockey puck shaped thing, and then you place that onto the pressing machine, and the press has stampers on the molds that have the grooves on them. So once you press the buttons to send the puck into the press, then you wait for about 30 seconds. While you're waiting, there's first high pressure steam and then cold water that goes through the molds to make sure it melts and then cools.
How many hours would you say you spend here a day?
Right now, 12, maybe more, but typically 8 or 9. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're grinding it out a little bit, so. Yeah.
What's your personal all-time favorite record?
I'm gonna say it's a ska punk band from the early 90s. It's called Operation Ivy. I think it's just called self-titled, and my brother gave it to me when I was a teenager, and I love it. It got me into punk, so.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
Why is it important to keep social media alive?
To keep social media alive? Oh, like records and stuff like that, or yeah. So I think keeping physical media alive is important because it's an archive. So instead of using Spotify, people can buy a record, and there's a lot of intention around buying a record. So when you buy a record, it's something you're explicitly interested in, and it's not an algorithm. So that's one important piece. But also, it probably will never go away, but if Spotify goes away tomorrow, you still have your record collection. And that, to me, is really important because, I don't want all the music I like to suddenly disappear so I can't listen to it again. So the archiving is really important to me.
How old do you have to be to operate machinery here?
That's a great question. I would guess 18. It depends on the state of Minnesota legislation, but I believe it's 18.
Why pick South Minneapolis to open the space? What's special about the South Side that made this right home?
Well, we are big So I don't live on the south side anymore, but Alex does. She lives actually very close. So between sort of wanting to be in the heart of south side and then Alex living nearby, we thought this was a really good location. The south side means a lot to both of us. Despite not living here for a while, it's my favorite place to be in the city. So, and it's because there's such an incredible artist and musician community. It really felt important to be on this side of town. It feels like just a very close-knit community that we wanted to serve. So, yeah. What's going on around the corner? So there's an artist we're working, and you can take pictures of this if you want to. There's an artist around the corner who you saw a ton of speakers. So he does this thing where he builds a dome out of speakers, and then it's meant for you to sit inside the dome and like listen. Oh. And he's trying to make it 360. He hasn't done that yet. He's only been able to do left and right or whatever, stereo. But he's trying to make it like a 360-degree listening.
That sounds like a great experience.
Yes, I haven't done it yet, but he's going to build it in here and sort of, make it available to people. Yeah, right? Oh, I would love that.
Sound bathing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What distinguishes your records from the produced by larger companies?
So, not to disparage larger companies, but, there are record factories and companies that are effectively the Amazon and Walmart of record pressing. We hand quality check every record at least twice. So, when I pull it off the press, I do that check, and then the next round is like visually inspecting it again. And we listen to one every 30 records or so, just to make sure, it sounds like the tested, like we were doing today. But since we're hand checking everything, we feel like that sets us apart. Some other, there are other pressing plants in the country that do that. But the larger your factory gets, the more efficient you want it to be. Generally, that's sort of the attitude. And so there are things like automatic record sleeving situations and stuff like that. And that eliminates quality control. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you have a big space here. And currently the main machines are in this one alcove. Do you have plans for growth? What do you hope to see in this space in the future?
We would love to grow. It's a little hard since we just got off the ground to think of a 5-year plan, but we would love to use the space to expand. That said, we don't need that much more room to make a lot more records. And we actually do have a scheme going, and it's a separate company, but we're also looking to recycle other kinds of plastic. Since we're making new plastic, we want to be responsible and sort of offset that, essentially. So we are going to be recycling other kinds of plastic and turning it into big panels that you can use for construction. So that's what's going to happen over there. So that's one of the big plans. But yeah, we would also love to do practice spaces for musicians or, artist studios. But that's we need to do a lot of building to get that going. Yeah.
Wait, I know that band. I've seen them live.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Holy crap. I've seen that band live. Black Widows. They were at the, what's that one thing that we did on, me and Liam did on Homecoming where they all Porch Fest.
Oh, okay.
They were live there because they're family friends with one of my friends. So I got to meet them, and they were really cool, and they were really nice, and I got to see them live.
So that's one of the big plans.
Oh, that's
Evidence of the local scene right here.
Evidence of the local scene coming at you live? Except it's not live. We are doing this on Monday.
Call it what you want.
It's live. In my mind.
Ella, any of the other questions jump out?
No, just a little statement. I did see them live, and they were really nice.
They're really nice. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
great. They actually just reordered some because they're on tour right now, and they like sold.
Wow. Yeah, they're family friends with one of my friends, and I got to see them at Porch Fest, and it was really fun. Black Widows. And one of my friends has a misprint of their merch that says Black Windows.
That's awesome.
Special edition.
Yeah.
Special edition.
That's one of my something I really like is actually the mistakes, because they are like, from a collector's standpoint, they're worth more, and they're just more interesting and give you the story of like human error. So I really like that. You know what I mean?
Sarah, do you have a favorite record in your personal collection that's either like the coolest thing or your rarest thing that you have?
I did. So I guess I was mentioning my favorite is one that my brother gave me when I was like just starting to get into records, and that's called, it's a band called Operation Ivy, and they're sort of what got me into punk. But I really love Bo Diddley, and Bo Diddley is like, he's just the coolest. So, and he's like, of all the rock and roll like pioneers, or for lack of a better word, he's the most unproblematic. No, but he's awesome, and he has records where the covers are just so cool. He's just so cool. So I've got one called now I can't remember what it's called. It's the one where he's like on a scooter, and I think it's like On a Ride with Bo Diddley or something like that. So or like Cruising with Bo Diddley, something. So yeah, part of it's the art. It's just so, and like to know it's from the 60s is like sort of a mind-blowing thing, like somehow it survived all the decades to get to me. So
Yeah, I have some of my dad's collection.
Oh, you do?
And, like I've got the first Beatles compilation album, the Blue album.
Yeah.
That's probably the prettiest one, other than like I have a couple things that I've gotten from bands I felt like Murder by Death. I don't know if you know them.
Yeah.
They had some amazing colored Kickstarter projects.
That's awesome.
So
yeah. They're awesome. I have friends who go and see them at the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah.
They do that sometimes. Yeah. It sounds fun.
It's they're retiring.
Oh no.
This is their last year.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, sad.
25 years on the road will do it, I guess.
Oh. It's brutal. Even if you have hotels, it's brutal, I feel like. So, yeah.
My husband was a touring bassist for a while.
Yeah. And he's like, never again.
No.
Yeah.
Are they really doing ASMR with the door over there?
I think
the doors are hollow, so maybe it does sound cool.
All right, team, we got about 5-ish minutes till we gotta run. Any last questions, comments, gratitude to share with Sarah?
Thank you
I'm
for
so
having us. Thank you so much.
I was happy to be here.
Thank you so much
Also,
for coming.
I'm happy to collect more records.
Anything to say so far about the experience?
It is very cool. It is tucked away off of Lake Street. You'd never guess it was here. They're running a good operation.
I don't know how many times I've passed it without realizing. Thank you so much for listening to our interview with Outta Wax Studio, an amazing vinyl record making factory in South Minneapolis. This was Youth Frequency KRSM 98.9, and you just heard our interviewers Eros, Addy, Jada, Alex, Christetta, and Thor. And thank you so much for Sara Pette and Outta Wax for having us on to interview you. It was amazing. Please check out our Instagram or YouTube to see the amazing photos Addy took. Thank you. Tune in next Wednesday from 5 to 6.